We've mentioned it in our videos a lot recently, but both inflation and the price of goods in the UK are both rising exponentially as of late, something which is in turn squeezing the wallets of many of us. Often those who are the worst hit are some of the poorest in the UK, but to some extent we are all feeling the squeeze. To help out as much as possible in bringing those prices of everyday goods and services down, we've put together some useful tips and tricks to help you save at the supermarket. They might not solve the root of the issues here, but can certainly help to keep some more money in your pocket. Let's take a look. Here are some general tips on how to save. Firstly, it pays to plan meals and check deals. Challenge yourself to using what you have in the cupboard and freezer as the basis for your week's meals, and you can focus then on what you actually need to buy. This is easy to do if you plan your meals in advance and take into account what you already have in the cupboard. You can also avoid impulse buying and keep your eye out for the specific ingredients you need at the best prices. Take advantage of bog-off orders and new product introduction prices to stock up on the essentials and leave yourself with more margin on the more expensive items that you need. Secondly, you can also consider subbing in vegetables where you might normally have meat. With vegetarianism and veganism on the rise and becoming more common in the UK, there are loads of resources out there on swapping to a more plant-based diet, as well as a diet that's kinder on your bank balance. Also, upping the vegetables in classic dishes like chillis can reduce the meat you need to use, and it can make the portions go a little bit further. If you do buy meat, try and buy frozen meat rather than fresh. You can get loads of bags of chicken breast and mince at much cheaper prices to bulk out your dishes. Your local butcher even can also give you the exact amounts that you need for cooking, so nothing actually gets wasted. Thirdly, make the most of your vouchers, either by looking online for money off or at the end of your shop. This helps with future trips or online shopping experiences where you can get a discount on your order. It's also a really good idea to check the World Food aisle. If you're looking for cheaper store cupboard staples, check out the World Food aisle in bigger supermarkets because they typically have great value options on herbs and spices, as well as other essentials like tinned tomatoes and chickpeas that can be found at lower costs. It also has to be emphasized that you need to know when a deal is a deal. Don't just buy an item that just because it's discounted if you don't need it. A good rule is to check the unit price displayed on the shelf to make sure the deals are actually worth getting. If it's a matter of a few pence and you don't actually need the product in multiple, it might work out as false economy. Similarly, only buy what you need. Whilst 4 chicken breasts might only be £1 more than buying 2, if you have no plans for the extra one and you know you're unlikely to remember to freeze it, then you probably should stay clear. As an even more general point, it's definitely worth taking out a set amount of cash each week and spending that rather than using your debit card or payments. When you see the money leaving your hand or wallet or purse, it always makes it more real and it helps you to question your purchases. It's nearly always the case that supermarket brands are better value than branded goods, and they often taste or work just as good or even better sometimes. It also pays to use banking apps. Many apps like Starling or Monzo have roundup features where if you buy something, a certain percentage goes to a saving space. This soon builds up into having a nice monthly saving. It's also worth using other price comparison apps and platforms. Using the likes of Price Spy, Camel, Trolley.co.uk and more, you can often save a pretty penny on many items. Using apps like ShopMeum, Checkout Smart, Quidco and ClickSnap meanwhile can help you get money back on certain products and shopping. Moneza, meanwhile, offers gift cards at discount rates for Asda, Sainsbury's, etc. You can even add many vouchers and loyalty cards to the likes of Google Pay, etc., and then you'll then be less likely to forget them, and you can make sure that you always get those offers, savings, and discounts. In terms of making money, if you need to sell things that you don't need to make some cash, then it's definitely worth having a clear out and selling some unwanted stuff at car boot sales. We'll have tons of clothing and items that we don't really use or wear anymore, and they could even fetch a pretty penny at something like this. It also pays sometimes to attempt small DIY jobs yourself, as many could be easy fixes and there's lots of YouTube videos or sites around, but please always make sure that you're confident with it, and anything gas or electric related, please get a qualified person to handle the job. As another point, look into switching to a water meter, especially if you live in a large house with low occupancy. The rule of thumb here is that you have more bedrooms than people living in the house, then it's worth considering. Clearly, it's not going to benefit everyone. If it doesn't work out cheaper, you can always switch back to the old system within the first year, but check with your local water board for all of your options. Other resources and options to save include Facebook Marketplace, which can be great for picking up new and second-hand goods such as clothing and furniture, even sometimes for free. Also, the Free Cycle network, meanwhile, is made up of more than 5,000 local town groups with over 9 million members across the globe. It's a grassroots and entirely non-profit movement of people who are giving and getting stuff for free in their own towns and keeping good stuff out of landfills. Membership is also free, so that's a great resource to get onto. If you're wanting, for example, to eat out, then it's also worth checking out Too Good To Go, where restaurants, cafes and bakeries list leftover foodstuffs that would otherwise be thrown away. Users simply then browse a map or food near them and they pick up a magic bag for a fraction of the original retail cost. Other apps that are similar to this also include Olio, Mutatos, Improved Food and Karma. There's bound to be something around you. Another one of the areas where we're seeing absolutely massive increases in prices are in energy. To this end, some energy companies are actually offering help for those who are struggling to pay their often highly inflated bills, including via grants and more methods. As an example, British Gas Energy offer a support grant, while so does Scottish Power via their hardship fund. In addition to these, OVO, as well as Eon Next Energy, EDF, Bulb and finally Octopus with their Octo Assist fund are all offering grants. If you can't get a grant from your suppliers, you may be able to get one from British Gas Energy Trust. These are available to anyone and you don't have to be a British Gas customer. However, you'll also need to get debt advice before you apply for these. You may also find that grants that are run by your local council, and it's definitely worth searching on the Gov.uk website for this. If you're in debt to your energy supplier, meanwhile, you might be able to get a grant to help pay this off. For those with fuel or gas cards or prepayment meters, and for those who can't afford to top them up, you might be able to get a fuel voucher. This is a code given to you in a letter or in a text message or email. You can then use it to add credit to your gas card or electricity key. If you don't have one of those, you just simply contact your supplier to get one. Your local council, meanwhile, might also be able to help you get a fuel voucher. Many have criteria for applying, meanwhile, so make sure that you always read through. Plus, finally, don't forget the council tax rebates of 150 quid. Make sure that you apply for these if it's possible. There are literally so many ways to help yourself save money, both at the supermarket but also on energy bills and on other household necessities. For more vital information, as well as tried and tested tips and tricks from everyday people, it's also worth checking out the Hot UK Deals discussion pages. There, Hot UK Deals users share their best methods to save money. Have you got any useful tips for saving money on household items, goods and services? Any glaring omissions from our video here? Don't forget, as always, to let us know in the comments below, and make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here so that you never miss out on all of the best ways to save money. Thanks for watching and happy shopping from Hot UK Deals.